From a moment, Oliver, the charming British ski instructor with that irresistible accent, stepped forward to address the group at the start of the day. It was clear something extraordinary was about to unfold. With a deep, confident tone, he announced,
"Stay tuned until the end, because today I'm sharing a story that will ignite all your senses."
The morning was crisp and cold, the sun barely peeking over the snow-dusted peaks. Skiers gathered, buzzing with energy as the icy air promised a jolt of life. Amidst this invigorating scene, Oliver stood out effortlessly. His athletic build looked as if sculpted by a master, with well-defined muscles, a naturally sun-kissed complexion, and a stride that turned heads. His face, chiseled with sharp features and a neatly trimmed beard, lit up with a mischievous smile, while his piercing blue eyes conveyed a hunger for passion that was impossible to ignore.
Oliver wasn't just an expert on the slopes, he exuded a magnetic charm. His dark hair, casually tousled, framed a face that radiated quiet intensity. His voice, rich and seductive with that classic British lilt, captivated everyone who heard it. Every word he spoke carried an unspoken promise, and his natural, effortless gestures hinted at a simmering sensuality. As he guided his students and corrected their stances, his movements were graceful and assured, almost like watching a skilled dancer. It was no wonder that all eyes were drawn to him. Yet among the crowd, one man's gaze burned with a distinct, unyielding desire. Richard was a 50-year-old man with an air of quiet mystery and enduring sensuality. His mature features told the story of a life richly experienced, while subtle traces of age only added to his distinguished allure. Despite the marks of time, there was a strength and determination in him that rendered him utterly irresistible. He had signed up at the ski academy in search of a spark he thought was long lost, a desire to prove that passion knows no age limits. The first time Oliver approached Richard to adjust his gear, something unexpected happened. As the instructor carefully secured the strap on Richard's helmet, their hands brushed ever so briefly. That fleeting contact sent a jolt through Richard, a spark that awakened a longing he believed had faded with the years. During those initial lessons, the atmosphere transformed into a silent game of exchanged glances and gentle brushes. Fully aware of his allure, Oliver led his class with unwavering confidence. Every instruction was delivered with a subtle double meaning. The way he leaned in to demonstrate the proper stance, the light, intentional touch as he adjusted Richard's posture, all of it became an invitation to explore the forbidden. Richard, initially trying to focus on learning the art of skiing, soon found his thoughts drifting toward something far more intense. The alluring scent of Oliver, a blend of rich wood and a crisp freshness, overwhelmed him. Each time he caught a glimpse of the instructor, his body responded with a yearning he could no longer ignore. During breaks, while others shared stories and laughter, Richard couldn't help but watch Oliver. The image of a man completely in control, with eyes that radiated desire, was a magnetic force that he found impossible to resist. With every passing minute, the tension between them grew, as if the mountain itself conspired to bind them together in a secret charged with forbidden pleasure. One afternoon, as dark clouds gathered and a storm approached, the group took shelter in a rustic wooden chalet. The transition from the vast, icy expanse of the mountain to the warm, intimate embrace of the chalet was dramatic. In this secluded haven, lit by the soft glow of a roaring fire, the atmosphere shifted, becoming charged with an electrifying, erotic energy. In a quiet corner, away from prying eyes, Oliver approached Richard. The intimate setting, with the gentle crackle of burning logs in the background, seemed to intensify every sensation. With deliberate, confident movements, the instructor reached out and, almost imperceptibly, brushed his hand against Richard's skin. Though brief, that touch made time appear to slow down. "Do you feel how this place turns everything electric?" Oliver murmured in a low, enticing whisper, his voice laden with promises that resonated deep within Richard. Unable to tear his gaze away, Richard simply nodded. Every nuance, from the alluring lilt in Oliver's voice to the spark in his eyes, fueled a growing desire that was impossible to deny. The next day, the mountain once again set the stage for their clandestine dance. While most of the skiers focused on perfecting their technique, Oliver and Richard found secret moments just for themselves. In a secluded stretch of the slopes, where the wind seemed to whisper its own secrets, the pull between them became almost unbearable. The crunch of snow underfoot, the shifting of ice, and the invigorating chill of the air formed a stark contrast with the warmth radiating from their entwined bodies. During a sharp turn as they navigated the natural terrain, Oliver leaned close to Richard and, in a husky, breathy tone, said, "Let yourself be carried away by the pleasure. Feel every caress, every sigh." His words were so genuine that Richard's heart pounded with anticipation. In that moment, the world shrank to just the two of them. Their hands met, their eyes locked, and soon, urgent, passionate kisses bridged the distance between desire and fulfillment. The biting cold of the snow only served to highlight the heat of their fervent kiss, each gesture affirming that nothing, not even the chill of the mountain, could douse the fire of their yearning. Opportunities for discreet, electrifying contact multiplied with every lesson, and the mountain itself seemed to conspire as their silent accomplice, a language of passion where every stolen touch and lingering glance spoke volumes. As night fell, the chalet took on an even more intimate and seductive aura. Under the soft glow of low-hung lamps and the steady warmth of the fire, the cold of the outside world was forgotten. In that dim light, whispers and shadows beckoned both men to surrender to their unspoken desires. Always in command, Oliver gently took Richard's hand and led him to a secluded room, far removed from casual chatter and curious eyes. There, in that private sanctuary, the simmering tension finally erupted into an outpouring of passion. No grand declarations were needed. Each gesture, every lingering touch, spoke for itself. With the assuredness born of experience, Oliver leaned in and captured Richard's lips. Their first kiss was soft and exploratory, almost tentative, but soon deepened into one of intense, undeniable passion. Each kiss became a wordless confession, and every caress rekindled emotions Richard had long thought dormant. Oliver's warm, smooth skin beckoned exploration, and as his fingers traced deliberate paths over Richard's body, a slow-burning fire was reignited within him. Clothes fell away almost without resistance, revealing bodies that, despite the passage of years, moved with the unrestrained energy of desire. Oliver revealed his most sensual self, the chiseled lines of his muscles, the softness of his skin, and the unwavering intensity in his gaze. Richard, embodying the refined allure of mature passion, surrendered to the cascade of sensations, letting every tender touch and heated caress stoke the flame inside. In the hushed intimacy of that room, the atmosphere filled with soft gasps and whispered desires. The rhythmic harmony of their movements, the shared murmurs, and the gradual unveiling of hidden pleasures wove a tapestry of pure, unfiltered desire. There was no space for fear or hesitation, only the raw thrill of passion that bound them in that unforgettable night. Every moment was laden with subtle details that fanned the flames of desire even further. The way Oliver's eyes lingered on Richard, as if reading every secret thought, spoke of an attraction that transcended mere physicality. Richard, in turn, admired every line of Oliver's face, the strong set of his jaw, the gentle curve of his smile that hinted at untold pleasures, and the spark in his eyes that promised so much more. In those intimate moments, time seemed to slow. The soft lighting, the gentle glow of the fire, and the comfortable, private setting created an ambience that was both relaxed and vibrantly charged. Their skin, pressed closely together, was a constant reminder that true desire knows no bounds. Each kiss grew deeper, every touch more deliberate, as the pleasure between them swelled to encompass the entire room. When the first light of dawn crept through the windows, the atmosphere gradually shifted. The soft glow of morning found Oliver and Richard still entangled in an embrace that said everything without words. The passion of the night before had left its indelible mark on them both. The disarray of the rumpled sheets quietly testified to their fervor. Richard, his face still flushed with satisfaction and quiet wonder, gazed at Oliver. Every detail, from the firmness of his muscles to the calm determination in his eyes, was etched into his memory as a reminder of that transcendent night. There was no need for further explanation. The intimacy, the physical connection, and the overwhelming passion had already said it all. In the days that followed, the mountain became the backdrop for many more moments of clandestine passion. During skiing lessons, while most concentrated on mastering their craft, Oliver and Richard found fleeting opportunities to be together. A casual correction here, a subtle touch there, each interaction became a chance to brush against one another and let their mutual attraction flow freely. In the quiet corridors of the lodge and the secluded corners of the chalet, furtive glances and discreet touches grew bolder with each passing day. Richard allowed himself to be swept up in the thrill of these secret encounters, relishing each moment as an opportunity to rediscover the vitality and desire he believed were reserved only for youth. The mountain, with its breathtaking views and the raw chill of its air, became the perfect accomplice in a story where pure pleasure reigned supreme. Every day offered new chances, a brief brush while adjusting equipment, a stolen kiss while packing away gear after class, or a lingering look that said more than words ever could. The desire between them was palpable, each small encounter a testament to the thrill of living fully in that forbidden space, where every touch was a promise and every glance a secret shared. Eventually, the season on the mountain gave way to the routines of everyday life, and the inevitable farewell loomed. Both knew their paths would soon diverge, yet neither sorrow nor regret marred their final moments together. What had been shared was intense and complete, a memory to be cherished in the deepest corners of their souls. On one of their last nights in the warmly lit chalet, Oliver and Richard found themselves alone once more. The quiet of the room mingled with echoes of past laughter and the soft crackle of the fire. With a calm and steady gaze, Oliver spoke softly. "Our time together was pure desire, nothing more, nothing less." Richard smiled in quiet agreement. No further words were needed to seal their shared experience. Their farewell was not mournful but a tacit acknowledgement that some moments, however fleeting, burn bright enough to be remembered forever. Today, whenever Richard recalls those days on the mountain, he does so with a mix of awe and satisfaction. The image of Oliver, with his impeccable form and the seductive charm of his accent, remains vividly etched in his memory. Each time Richard closes his eyes, he relives the heat of those kisses, the thrill of every tender touch, and the silent roar of desire that echoed in a place where the chill of the snow merged with the blaze of passion. This isn't a love story tangled in sentimentality, it's an encounter devoted purely to unbridled pleasure. The mountain, the chalet, the snow, and the whispering winds all stand as silent witnesses to what was shared. Richard learned that desire knows no age, that passion can be reborn in the most unexpected moments, and that every encounter, no matter how brief, leaves a mark that endures. So, stay with us until the very end, not for grand lessons or eternal promises, but to savor every electrifying moment, the image of an irresistible man, that first unforgettable touch, and those intense moments on the slopes where desire was the only truth. The story of Oliver and Richard is the chronicle of two souls who surrendered to passion without reserve, a memory that will linger with every falling snowflake, every track left on the slope, and every quiet heartbeat of those brave enough to live purely for pleasure.
This is the story of two raw, unadorned encounters, where attraction and desire triumphed above all else. Oliver, with his commanding presence and irresistibly seductive British accent, and Richard, a 50-year-old man yearning for fresh sensations, found in the mountain the perfect stage to surrender to passion. No frills or lofty words. Each caress and every kiss told the tale of pure, unfiltered desire, an experience fleeting yet unforgettable. Amid the thrill of the slopes, the intimacy of the chalet, and the secret glances exchanged in quiet corners, their story became a memory that Richard will cherish forever. There were no grand promises or sentimental declarations, only the undeniable truth that in moments of complete surrender, pleasure is all that remains. Thus, in the vastness of the mountain and the warmth of a shared night, A story was written where nothing else mattered but the uncontrollable fire of passion, a journey of fleeting yet profound pleasure that proved desire knows no limits.